Hey everyone, welcome to the channel and another review. Yesterday I was able to see Parallel Mothers in theaters, so let's talk about it. First, we'll start off with just a brief synopsis of the film, and I'll just read that off here from what I found online, just to give a concise synopsis here. So the film is about two single women who meet in a hospital room where they're both going to give birth. One is middle-aged and doesn't regret it, while the other is adolescent and scared. The two women form a strong bond with one another as they both confront motherhood. And so, just to give a little background on the movie and my kind of thoughts going into it, I hadn't seen a trailer for this at all, to my knowledge. I'd seen that it was playing in theaters, though. There hasn't been much released lately. So, I was interested to see, what hit the theater this weekend. Saw that that had released and that it had a fairly good RT score. So, figured I'd check it out. It's a foreign film that debuted in some festivals last year, but it hadn't hit my theater until this weekend for general release. So that was, yeah, basically no expectations going into the film. I didn't really know what it was about. So with that, we will get into what I thought of the film. So we'll start off with what I enjoyed, and then we'll get into any negatives that I had about it as well. So the different elements that I liked about the film, the first what comes to mind is the acting. I thought all the actors did a very good job, especially the two main leads. They were very believably their characters, and they very much so connected with the audience, or at least me, as much as one could, given that I can't exactly relate to what they're doing. But they did a good job and made me feel like I could relate and understand to some degree what they were going through. The other element that I really liked about the film was that the story was well put together. There were some elements that were predictable, but there were plenty that weren't. And at the end of the day, it's very much a character study. So even the elements that you could predict, it's not really about the story. It's more about the characters and how do they handle the situations and the decisions that they're in and that they're faced with. So I found that very interesting. You don't get too many movies, or coming off of several blockbusters recently. It's refreshing to get just a character study and kind of a low scale film that's just about people and life. So I thought that was very good. There are a couple things, not to really go into spoilers, but there's one point in the film where, without warning, it does a time jump to a previous time, and then it plays out the scene, and that was really fun to experience. So it's, yeah, not spoilery at all, but yeah, having in the moment when you realize that and your brain's like, wait, oh, there is a time skip. That was a cool experience. So you don't get that in too many movies, and I appreciated it here. And lastly, I think just the overall flow of the film was very well paced, and I think the last thing that stands out is that the final shot was just a very powerful shot that I think will be hard to forget. So I think there's a lot of good to this movie. It held my interest the entire time through. I don't really have any negatives that come to mind. I mean, so it is a foreign film, and the spoken language is Spanish, which I don't speak. So I was reading subtitles the whole time, which is perfectly fine. I mean, I wouldn't expect every film to be in English, obviously, but for my personal experience, that just lessened my enjoyment slightly because I wasn't able to like fully watch the rest, like other parts of the screen and the actors, while I had to be reading the dialogue. So that's just a small drawback, but certainly not enough to say, hey, this isn't worth seeing because you have to read subtitles. But if subtitles aren't your thing, that is the entire movie. So I mean, they have a couple English phrases, but for the most part, it is Spanish. The only other negative that I could think of is there's just a few weird shots. At least in my opinion, they seemed like weird shots. Several times throughout the movie, when one of the characters is on the computer, like zooms in on the mouse of her like clicking and scrolling, and I don't know, it wasn't quite product placement. I don't think. I didn't see a brand on there at all, but it was just, there were a lot of shots like that relative to what I would expect, like maybe one or two, but that was just a little strange, and that's kind of a nitpicky thing. So Yeah, nothing really bad to say about this movie. Overall, I enjoyed it, and I'd say it's a good movie, and I'd recommend it to anyone that is, looking for a movie to see, especially at this time where we haven't had too many movies hitting theaters recently. All right, that does it for my review for Parallel Mothers. If you've seen the film, be sure to let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this view, be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.